Hey guys, Zara here. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to conceal dark under eyes, dark circles around your eyes, to brighten it all up and make it look like you get enough sleep pretty much. My dark circles are a little bit hereditary, but it's pretty much caused by sleep for the most part. So if I'm sleeping less and really sleep deprived, they tend to get darker and more prominent, and if I'm really well rested then they're not as obvious, but they are still there. So I'm pretty much going to show you guys how I go about concealing them. So all that's on my face right now is a little bit of foundation because I am in the middle of filming a formal makeup look, but I did want to make this video separately just so I can go a little bit more in depth on concealing dark circles. I only use a few products, sometimes I only use one, but this is like doing the most if you want to get like the most coverage and the most brightened effect for your eyes. So to start off, you always want to use an eye cream. It's a preventative thing. I know some people will think to themselves, I'm still young, I don't need eye cream, but I've been using eye cream since I was maybe 20 or 21, and I just feel like, you know, in 10 years when everyone else is getting wrinkles around their eyes, hopefully I won't be because I already use eye cream. In this case I'm going to use a brightening eye cream. This is the Antipodes Manuka Honey Skin Brightening Eye Cream. I've only been using it for a few weeks, so I haven't seen that much of a difference, but it definitely feels very nice, feels very hydrating, and hopefully it has a bit of an effect on my dark circles. So just taking a little bit of that on my ring finger, I'm just going to tap this in. Sometimes I do tend to swipe, I will admit, like I'm not perfect, but it's best recommended to use your ring finger because it's like the weakest one, so you won't, like, I don't know, damage your eye area. And tapping, you know, stops from you pulling and like creating fine lines and wrinkles and all the rest, whereas patting just helps get the product on there without, like, what's the word, disturbing the skin. Also, by hydrating your under eyes, you're just making sure that it's all, you know, obviously really moisturized and the products won't like dry up or make your under eyes look, you know, all, you know, flaky and, you know, weird and crackly and all that kind of stuff. So yep, just use eye cream is all I can say. Next is a bit of an optional step, but this is what really helps cancel the dark circles, and you guys would have seen it in a bunch of my videos in the past, and that's just using an orange concealer to counteract the blue undertones of dark circles. You can use an orange lipstick, you can use pretty much anything that's orange. I use the MAC Studio Conceal and Correct Duo, which has like a yellower shade to brighten, but I use the orange shade to counteract. So I guess this shade separately is called Pure Orange, and I am just going to apply it to the darkest parts, which is the inner corner and the outer corner. All of this down here, like, you just need the smallest amount, but the darkness, like the reason people think I have dark circles, I guess, is the inner and outer corner. They are really dark compared to the rest. So I'm just going to apply that there, and I'm just going to use my finger. Sometimes I will use a beauty blender, but then I will admit I find it hard to go in with the concealer because I use a pointy end, and then like you're just adding more orange and it gets a bit messy. So I'm just going to use my finger today to pat this out. Obviously keeping it quite concentrated, quite close to my lash line, like just blending it out so the concealer can sit nicely on top of it. Again, just using that patting motion similar to the eye cream to make sure you're not like dragging, you know, your under eye skin all over the place. Because it's just so thin, so you just don't want to like mess with it too much. So obviously you can also put the orange concealer on your eyelid if you feel like it's really super dark, but I'm going to put concealer on there and then powder and then eyeshadow, so I don't see a massive need for it, but sometimes you guys will see me just kind of, if I put too much orange, I'll just bring it up onto my eyelid. So next, pretty much going with your favorite concealer. Make sure that the concealer isn't already a correcting concealer. So I'm not going to go in with like my Bobbi Brown Corrector or what else do I have with a peachy undertone? My NARS Creamy Concealer in Biscuit, because those already have peachy undertones, and I've already added the orange to counteract. So I don't need the peachy undertone in my concealer to also counteract, because then you're just kind of doubling up, and I'm pretty sure the peachy undertone in the concealer will try and counteract this orange and it gets a bit messy. So go in with like your normal concealer, like just your everyday, like your blemish concealer, whatever it might be. For me today I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Deep Tan. This is like ever so slightly, like half a shade lighter than my own skin tone, but it blends out really nicely. So it will also help just kind of brighten, lift the area, you know, how you like highlight underneath your eyes, and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to do the massive triangle. I love this concealer because it's so slippy, like easy to blend out, whereas some other concealers can be a little bit harder to blend out just because they're so like creamy and like thick, but I prefer like these kind of, I don't know, slippy ones. So then I'm pretty much just going to use a beauty blender and try my best to just bounce. But if you're obviously trying to control where the concealer goes, you know, feel free to kind of swipe a little bit, but pretty much just bouncing that right on top. I'm just going to go in with a teensy bit more just on my inner corner, just because there's a lot of darkness there still. And the Beauty Blender is a great tool because it will pick up any excess product, so you're not caking it on and putting too much underneath your eye. Now, just to balance out the rest of my face, I'm going to apply this down the center, around my nose, around my mouth. Now, the way I've concealed my dark circles, you can conceal any darkness on your face. So, I mean, sometimes in between getting my upper lip waxed, I'll feel like the skin's getting a bit dark. Whether it's just the hair or I'm not sure, but I'll just apply a little bit of the orange concealer there. It'll counteract any darkness on brown skin. So even if you have like, I don't know, a slightly orange based primer or something like that, you know, if you feel like you just want to really brighten up and all that stuff, it could definitely come in handy. Next, I'm going to quickly pat this out so that there are no creases, and then quickly bake under my eyes using the Nye Banana Powder, which you guys know I adore. I've tried other powders. I've tried the Laura Mercier one that everyone uses. I find that it looks a little bit ashy in my skin tone because it is like a white translucent powder, whereas this one's yellow toned, so I just love it. I even tried the Bobbi Brown retouching powder in peach, but it was actually quite hard to get off my skin. Like, it just settled in a little bit too much, so yeah, so far it's just this one that I'm loving. Now, baking for me will prevent my under eyes from creasing, and it'll just keep the area really flawless all day. Whereas, yeah, before I started baking, the two really deep set creases under my eye would crease immediately and crease all day. It wouldn't be obvious when people were looking straight on, but when I'd look in the mirror while driving, I could see it. So yeah, that's the reason I bake, just to help prevent creasing. I also bake because I have deep tear troughs, which are the lines here that you guys usually see on me. And again, this just helps to counteract any shadows, you know, created in that deep tear trough, and help bring light to it so you guys can't really see it as much. So I'm just going to let that sit there, and whilst that sits there, I will pretty much finish off my prom makeup tutorial and be back in a little while. So I finished my makeup now. If you want to know how I got the rest of this look, check out my more recent formal makeup tutorial. I really hope you guys learnt a little something about concealing dark under eye circles, and pretty much the key is something corrective. So whether it be a corrective concealer or like an orange concealer, just correcting before concealing will help counteract the darkness in your circles, and obviously keeping the area really hydrated and healthy and all that good stuff. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!